Hi, it's Steve. In this video, we'd like to show you how to change the door interlock switch on your dishwasher. It's a really easy repair. Let me show you how we do it. Now, since we will be working near some electrical circuits, the first step in this repair will be to disconnect power to your dishwasher. If your model has a cord on it, simply unplug it. If it's hardwired, you'll need to locate the electrical panel, turn off the appropriate breaker, or remove the appropriate fuse. Once we've done that, you can start the repair. Now that we've disconnected the power, our next step will be to open up the dishwasher door. And we're going to need to remove that inner door panel to separate it from the outer door panel. That involves removing the screws along the perimeter. On this model, they're a number 2 Phillips head screw. Now, once we've removed all of those screws, we'll separate the inner and outer door panels. Just tilt that inner door panel up, and then you can rest it up against the tub, and we can then do the repair. Now, to access that part, we first of all need to remove this cover over the door switches. It's held in place with clips on either side. To remove it, we're going to loosen the two on the bottom first. So simply take a flat blade screwdriver and gently pry those tabs outward enough to release it. Lift up gently on it. Do the same for the opposite end. Lift that off. We're just going to set that cover aside for now. Now, to replace one of the door switches, we first of all will need to lift out that door strike. It has a spring on the end of it, so we're going to just grasp the top portion of it, carefully lift it up with the spring, and we'll just set that aside. Now, to lift the door switch out of that bracket, you simply need to lift up on it. There are 2 locating pins that hold it in place. With the switch removed, we'll next need to disconnect the wire harness. So using either a pair of needle nose pliers or a flat blade screwdriver, we'll pry off those terminals. And try not to wiggle the terminals back and forth, as it tends to distort them. You're better to pry them straight off. You discard the old switch. Install the wires on the new switch. Make sure they fit on nice and snug. And also be sure that there is no damage to those terminals. If there are, you'll need to replace those. Then we'll line up the holes in the switch with the locating pins in that bracket. Press the switch firmly down into position. Make sure the harnesses are tucked into the openings on the end. Now we're ready to put the door strike back in place. We want to make sure that we line up the slotted portion on that door strike facing down, and as well, the tapered section in the middle should fit over top of the push buttons on the switch. Make sure the spring stays in place. Drop that down into position. And now we're ready to put the cover back on. Now, when reinstalling that cover, make sure that we line it up so that the 2 tabs that are close to the center are on the top, and the wider tabs are on the bottom. We'll start by installing that side first. Make sure the tabs are latched, then pivot it down into place and latch the 2 bottom. Now, with that cover in place, we're ready to put the inner door panel back in place. And next, we'll carefully lay that inner door panel against the outer door panel. Make sure that we don't pinch that harness. And be sure that the bottom portion of that inner door panel fits over the lip of the tub. Lay it down into place. And then we're ready to install the retaining screws. Now, if you're using a power driver, be careful not to strip these screws as they are going into plastic. And now we can close the dishwasher up. We're now ready to reconnect the power, and your repair is complete.